Okay, so I think up next we have the and students from the but I think starting things off is MTN Director Julie Cleaverton. Julie, are you with us?
Yes, good evening. Can you hear me? Yes, hello, I can hear you. Good evening, greetings from Cape Town, South Africa. Our presentation this evening is a collaboration between the Iziko Planetarium, the South African Astronomical Observatory, and ourselves, the MTN Science Centre, all based in Cape Town. Our presentation will start with an introduction to African Starlore from Themba Matomele, who is from the Iziko Planetarium. And this will be followed by a presentation from a winning team of a competition we ran earlier this year. And the winning team is from Silver Sands Primary School, also from Cape Town. So enjoy the evening with us. Thank you.
Good evening all. I'm Themba Matomele from Iziko Planetarium in Cape Town. I'm just going to talk briefly about what the African people thought of stars. Well, Africans, like all the other community of the world, they were fascinated by the stars. But particularly, they used the stars for their calendrical systems, for their agricultural cycles, and the celebration of certain rituals and customs. What comes to mind right now is a group of stars, an open cluster of stars called the Pleiades, or sometimes they call it Seven Sisters. We call it Isilimela. The Xhosas and the Zulus in South Africa, they call it Isilimela, while the Tswanas and the Sothos call it Selimela, the Shonas call it Chirimela, and Swahili Kilimela. So right through Africa, these stars were well known. To us, they are important because they are used to count the manhood years. If a boy is being initiated, he starts counting his manhood years by Isilimela, the Pleiades. For instance, from one June to another June, it's one Isilimela. They are also, this was long before they came up with the ideas of telescope. They are also used for telling the time, agricultural time for tilling the ground, preparing for plowing. I think we'll go quickly next to the Venus as the planet. This is one planet that the Xhosa-speaking group would follow from morning to evening. They call it Ikwezi-lokusa, the morning star. And they associated that with diligence because the women would wake up very early in the morning and do their morning chores. Even the children would be called or named after this star. It's not a star, let's be clear about that. It's a planet. But because they didn't have telescope and knew nothing about it, they would call it a star. So it was also, even the travelers would use this star to know that now it's becoming a morning. Let's go to Venus as the evening star. Now Venus, it's called, when you see it after the sunset, they call it Uqelizapolo. That's a closer, maybe you can try that. But anyway, it was, this planet is visible at the time when the boys were milking the cows. Hence the word Uqelizapolo, which means he who asks the milk from the one who's milking. This star, or should I say this planet, it actually, they were using it to tell the time that it is now the time to milk the cows. And yes, let's go to Venus as the dating star. Oh yes, there was love among the Xhosa-speaking as well of Cape Town. Well, of South Africa. Well, they were not culturally, they were not allowed to date in public. So a boy would say to the girl, I'll meet you by the spring or river. And in other words, this very same planet was used as a time for dating for young boys. All right. Now, it is very important. Oh, by the way, we can quickly go to Orion. Orion belt. The Xhosa could also see this beautiful, prominent constellation, Orion, but what they would look for is just Orion belt. We call it Amakhoza. Amakhoza. Well, these three stars, they represent three sacred places that you cannot point with your finger, and these are the grave where the bones of our ancestors are resting peacefully. The second one is the starry heaven, where it is believed the spirits of our ancestors are wandering and watching us from the evil spirits. And the third one represents the third heaven, where it is believed that the supreme God is dwelling. In other words, you cannot use your finger to point the grave or the sky. You must bend your finger to show a sign of respect. I say now, the Iziko Planetarium is not only teaching about the astronomy, it is also teaching about the indigenous astronomy. So when you learn about astronomy, you must know that your forefathers also named stars, like the Greeks who named the stars. Your forefathers also named the stars. So please, do come to the stars and learn about them, because they are very important in your culture. Thank you. Now, right now, I'm going to give over to the Silver Sand Primary, and they can tell us more about what we were talking about. Thank you very much.